FlyOver State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Billy D clone.
Okay, go.
All right.
Stop clapping.
All right, we're starting. Welcome to FlyOver State of Film with your host this week, me, TJ, Yusuf, and Brian. And it's the only podcast you listen to this week that doesn't talk about a thing in LA closing down that we are all unceremoniously undramatic for. So, guys, how was your week? And did any big chains close around
They
you?
closed down my favorite lesbian restaurant bar that I used to go with my wife, but I didn't tweet about it, which was very sad. They had made a
So
great.
it didn't really happen. If you didn't tweet about it, then it did not happen.
Taco Bell brought back potato tacos.
Oh.
That was
Yeah,
tight.
but they took away the nacho fries. Did we tweet about that? We should tweet
could.
about the nacho fries. They should
could.
just make it like a staple.
You know what?
Why are they taking it away from us?
All the good restaurants in the town I work in are closed on Mondays, and that's when I'm in the office. So, you know, like we all have our struggles.
Joe.
Anyway, so this week we
wait, and they also closed down Shroot Farms.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm having this tribute shirt on. R.I.P. True Farms.
So, guys, crack a
You
glass.
drinking a rolling beer?
I am
Rolling
drinking.
Rock?
That is one of the worst beers in the face of the fucking earth. It
It's
tastes
like poor person's Heineken. It's the worst. It's what my
tastes like
grandpa used
metal.
to drink.
It
Guys,
tastes
it's
like
what
Joe,
we
don't
have
let-
in our
it's-
fridge.
aluminum. Somebody like a crackhead.
Oh, guys, well, I have 3 more of them to drink.
It's
So
like when it's like somebody was like, I want Coors Light, but in a nicer bottle.
Yeah. It's
Green
so-
bottles are pretty tight, though.
Well, it's my brother-in-law's favorite beer, so
We survived so much shit in this podcast, and I think that's what's gonna get us canceled. You fucking drinking Rolling
Rock.
on screen.
All right, well, time for this podcast break. Welcome to FlyOver State of Film, sponsored by Rolling Rock, the hills that make you go, wow, that was good.
Yeah, wow, what the fuck happened here? That's what they make.
Wow, it kind of tastes like peanuts. I always thought this beer tastes like peanuts. That's not what we're
Peanuts?
here. Yeah, I don't know. I got a weird palate.
Peanuts. Yeah, you do have a weird palate. That's
Speaking
true.
of peanuts,
You don't understand
Nova.
questions. You don't understand your taste buds. What's happening in New Jersey, man?
Speaking of that, guys, we got some news dropping. I feel like it's been a while since we've had real news.
Wow.
But the news so much more is the Disney slate. They released all their movies that are coming out.
Is this just like this summer or the rest of the year? I can't remember.
This summer.
Summer
It's the summer schedule. I'm just going to read them off, and then we could, go through what you want to talk about. The Star Wars The Bad Batch, the Cruella movie, the
What's
Loki
that?
show, Disney Pixar Luca, the Black Widow movie, which should have came out like 8 years ago, Jungle Cruise, Free Guy, The Beatles Get Back, and What If? Now,
Which is a
where
Marvel
would anyone-
Studios thing, if people aren't aware.
yeah.
What is
Wait,
the Beatles
what's
get
Green
back?
Guy?
I don't know. Another, like, in a line of a million Beatles documentaries. Like, who the fuck cares about the Beatles? Like, there's not enough content about the Beatles. We can start right there. On August 27th, 2021, there comes out the millionth thing about the Beatles. Like, literally every second of their rise and fall and lives has been documented and talked about on end.
Books.
Shut up.
But also,
They
the
suck.
back on what you're saying
They don't suck,
is,
but it's
why
not.
do I want to watch
this
a
level of
Disney-produced thing about the Beatles? Like, if I want to watch something about the Beatles, I want to hear their fucked up shit.
Disney's just gonna
Yeah,
skip
let's
over
get
the
John.
fun drug stuff.
Let's get Lennon hitting women and cheating on his wife and doing drugs and abandoning his kids like he did. But imagine it.
Also
Imagine
laying in bed and thinking you're gonna solve world peace by letting your hair grow like some kind of goddamn hippie. Ridiculous. Like, get up and do something. These people weren't allies. They suck.
It's actually a 2-hour documentary just to get you back into Catholicism.
So we're all back on board. That's the one that we're gonna watch, right? The Beatles.
You know what I want? You know what I want? How about Disney makes a movie about DMX?
Disney's DMX. Disney's DMX.
Oh,
I'll tell you what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the 3 different animated things on here. First of all, Star Wars The Bad Batch. Throw it on the pile. I don't give a shit about Star Wars animation. I shouldn't have to do homework to make your movies make sense. I'm sorry that all your content is the same.
It was an animation.
Yeah, it's a spin-off of the Clone Wars, I think. Ooh, I don't know if it's going to be live action, but I assume that it's
animation. It's animation.
Yeah.
I thought it was live action.
I'm just like, I know people really love that stuff, but like, that's the same. Yeah, you like it because it's told in a story. They just took what's good about other animated shows, like serialized animated shows like The Last Airbender or whatever the hell, and they just slapped a coat of Star Wars over it. It's the same thing they do with The Mandalorian. I don't care. It never has any effect. Everything you're watching, we already know what happens in Star Wars the next 40 or 50 years after the thing you're watching. So none of these characters matter. None of the things they do matter. It has zero effect on anything.
Are you guys obviously, I know a couple of you like the DC animated stuff, right? Like the Long Halloween is coming out.
Long Halloween's coming out. I'm stoked about that.
But does Star Wars graphic novels have that type of pull to make those type of animated, violent? But because you're gonna go animated, you can kind of step it up a little bit and go the more R-rated.
So if it's
I feel like they could. I mean, I feel like it's out there.
Is that they eliminated them. Like they retcon everything out. So that's the issue with the graphic novels and the extended universe that they created.
Marvel,
Disney retcon everything out.
There's current Star Wars books,
but it's not as good as the original, though.
I mean, I heard there was a Darth Vader book that was pretty good.
But Marvel
Wars of the Sith, right? It was very good.
Yeah,
the books are pretty good. But with the animated stuff, like the Clone Wars as a show has its really good arcs. I've only watched the arcs of them that people recommended. They're pretty good. But the problem is that something like The Bad Batch is, I feel like you probably have to do a lot of legwork to get there to begin with, and who cares? Like, I watched season 1.
You're definitely not going to be able to drop in on The Bad Batch if you haven't watched all the Clone Wars, where you know that these are good stormtroopers who did all, you know what I mean? And
at the same time, every fucking dork will be like, well, there's more than one other, all the Star Wars theatrical movies. There's the Clone Wars theatrical cartoon, the cartoon one.
I mean, that one's the worst of all. I heard the show is good, but I heard that movie sucks.
Yeah, the show's good, but people will reference that show being good. And I'd rather Disney with this slate we're talking about put out something like The Bad Batch and be a movie than be a 13-episode show or whatever it's going to be. Keep me interested with the movie. I'll watch a movie. I'm not, speaking of shows.
Do a 90-minute, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of shows.
Finish out the animated one. So the next one is
What If?
Luca, right?
Oh, yeah, we can talk about either one, Luca or What If. I was going to say about Luca, I don't think I've seen a trailer for Luca. What is that?
Luca is it's a thinly veiled coming-of-age gay story set in Italy, but they kind of pussied out and then just made it a merman.
Oh, okay. I think something about fish people. I think I heard about this. I still haven't seen anything.
So it's kind of like Call Me By Your Name, but kids version.
Sounds like Call Me By Your Name.
Is there cannibalism in the army?
So what? He's gonna like another fish. He's supposed to hook up with a human, but he likes a fish person instead, or something. Something like that. So more like Romeo and Juliet
instead of a peach,
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's set in
Kanye West
Italy,
story. It's a gay
and
fish.
he befriends a merman, and that's pretty much it. You know,
Are they going to get in a relationship? The merman, him and the merman.
they learn to love their differences because they're different. You know, aka gay.
What I mean is, are they going to kiss?
No,
I'm canceling my Disney Plus.
I mean the gayest thing that they've done, Disney has done, is outwardly gay. At least is like in Beauty and the Beast when he danced on the
Blue.
well, when
that
he-
yeah,
like,
that's real. That's pathetic. They have a girl on girl kiss in the last Star Wars.
Yeah, but if like you have to go like this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and it was so easily cut out. Much like the Beauty and the Beast thing, it's a thing they could easily cut out, so they could release the movie in more conservative countries.
I'm still. I know that.
I
I know that it became a meme, but Poe and Finn should have fucked. You know, those two destined to get.
I
that
honestly
movie.
think that literally, I think Oscar Isaac just has sexual chemistry with everything.
Oh,
you know
he
what I
has
mean?
sexual
Like,
chemistry
he
with
just got it.
an inanimate object.
He
Like,
gives the look, and that's it.
I also think Zootopia had that police officer, like deer lady. I thought she was a lesbian too. Or no, was that? Am I thinking of
That's
Zootopia or
Pixar.
Upward? Same.
Oh, I think you're thinking of Onward. Yeah.
Onward. Yeah. So anyway, on to the next one.
what if?
We could say fuck Cruella. I mean, that's just terrible.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
Oh,
horrible.
yeah. Wait. Let's talk about what if. We didn't finish up animation. Let's talk about
Oh,
what if.
my apologies. I'm gonna get my other piss water.
Oh my god, you're gonna.
So
you're
what
gonna
if
piss
it's like
your
a
pants.
Marvel series?
You're gonna have to like stop this podcast because you're gonna literally piss your pants.
I've done that on this podcast actually. So what if is a Marvel series where they imagine like characters that you know, but in different situations. The example that's in the trailer, remember from the trailer, is like it's Star-Lord, but he's T'Challa. You know, it's not, instead of becoming the Black Panther, he becomes Star-Lord. He's the one who gets kidnapped and taken to space or whatever. You know, it's interesting stuff. They'll probably, I guarantee they'll probably do a Marvel Zombies episode because everybody loves Marvel Zombies so fucking
I think they
much.
showed it in the trailer.
Just make a
Did they?
show about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's anyway.
That's fun.
It's animated. The only thing I didn't love was the animation style. Like, I like the idea, but from the trailer, I did not like the look of the show very much.
I have a question. With this whole slate and some of these movies and stuff, are they like double stacked now because of like all the like the post moments from last year? Because I feel there's just a lot being really like, especially in the Marvel.
Yeah, Black Widow's on here. You know, I mean, we got that's on our slate. Obviously, it was supposed to get released in March of 2020, so
I
it's been
remember-
hanging around for a while.
So I was
Widow should
editing
have been released
the,
8 years ago.
I was cleaning up the audio for the old episodes, and one of the old episodes, we talked about Black Widow and all that shit, and I remember Brian saying that, oh, they have to release it because the series are gonna set up stuff for the movies, probably. You said,
Going forward, yeah.
yeah, going
But
forward.
Black Widow
and
also
then
takes
after-
place in an era like it's kind of, we know how she ends, and it already it happens like between Civil War and Infinity War
Yeah.
or something. So it's
Between
kind of a
that.
bubble. It's kind of in a bubble. You can almost release it anytime, I guess.
Yeah, so I feel like
Yeah.
the ones that are in danger are the Doctor Strange is the only one because Eternals could be completely apart also, and
Well, Shang, what's his name?
Shang Tsung.
yeah,
No,
from
wait, Shang,
Mortal Kombat.
not Shang Tsung. That was just.
I don't
watched
wanna
Mortal
say
Kombat.
right.
It's not-
Wait,
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's Mortal Kombat, man.
Shang-Chi. It's Shang-Chi. Sorry.
Shang-Chi.
It's, I
That
think
is going
all
to set
those,
up the 10 rings.
yeah, all those three movies can exist outside of the entire like thing that they have created. The only ones that are in
All
danger
you really need for any of those is a end credit scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just put a little button end credit scene on them, and that's all they need.
I'm going to keep this moving, and I just want to ask, is anyone interested in Jungle Cruise? This has been the least... You are? I love The Rock, but like, tell me
It
why,
does
man.
give
I
me
just-
mummy vibes. I think that's
Yes!
what Yusef likes about
The
it too.
mummy, I want
It
it.
gives
I
me
want
mummy
that- I want that
vibes.
too.
Like
Mummy.
there's something about it, the kind of humor in it and stuff. I also think it's totally ridiculous to
So
picture
ridiculous.
a man
Got
who
nothing.
looks like The Rock existing in Victorian times. Like
it's just
they
like
couldn't have.
this.
There wasn't enough protein available to make a human look like The Rock back then. Like
Hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, no,
I
I
can't
don't.
wait
I
for The Rock.
honestly, I don't care. I
There's
don't
not
care
enough
about
protein
but
now.
yeah, I want
to
that
make
one.
it.
I can't wait till The Rock like give him like let's say like 15, 20 years, and he's trying to get his Oscar, and he's like wow, you look weird skinny because he had to like cut weight.
Yeah, he's like playing a heroin addict, so he's all like,
He's up to like Will Smith after like Ali, where he does Pursuit of Happiness, where he just gets like poor and sad, and you're just like, I
don't think The Rock will do that. I think he'll transition into politics. He'll lose like 20 pounds of muscle. He'll still be huge, but he won't be in like scary. And then he'll put on a suit, and he'll put on one of his baller suits,
and
he'll get behind a podium, and America will elect him immediately.
Yeah, we were watching. My wife was watching the Tooth. No,
Which one? Game Plan? The Tooth Fairy?
Game Plan. Yeah, and he's still like huge in that movie, and he looks tiny. Like Joe. He looks like Joe compared to him now. It's so fucking ridiculous.
I wish. No, he also has his show, the Young Rock Show, which actually not too bad, but it literally is this plot line is telling sort of his life running for office.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
I wanted to see it because there's a lot of like woven in wrestling.
Yeah, no, it's a fine show.
Yeah, that would almost make it worthwhile, but I don't know.
It's a fine show. It's not as bad as a sitcom as I was expecting to be. Like I watched. Like
Andrew the
It wasn't the Big Show. It wasn't the Big Show then.
No.
The Giant and like young Vince McMahon. Like there's a lot of like wrestling in
Adam Ray.
Makes sense.
The guy who plays Andre the Giant was a Jets linebacker in like the late 80s.
He was also in the show Dexter.
He was in Dexter.
Yeah.
The only stuff we have left here is Free Guy and Loki. I thought the Loki trailer looks interesting.
What's Free Guy?
I'll give it a shot.
Is that the video game?
Free Guy is the Ryan Reynolds movie where he's like in a video game and he's like an NPC in a video game, and then he wakes up and realizes he's unkillable or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gamer. It's basically Gamer.
No, it's not Gamer.
Gamer.
Speaking of Dexter.
It looks like It looks like they tried to make a Grand Theft Auto movie but couldn't get the license.
Okay, so speaking of underrated
it's more like Saints Row.
Speaking of underrated, like Gamer, what are some underrated Disney movies that you guys? I think
you just stole Brian's topic. You didn't even him.
Brian's topic.
You didn't even point to him and Brian. This is your topic.
No, Joe, you have to do every topic now by yourself.
All right,
that's fine. Just do it. Whatever. Who cares?
That's fine. Whatever. All right. So Brian's topic: underrated Disney movies. Let's have Brian start this topic off. I feel like with the slate and Disney.
That was a fitting start.
Brian.
I have to bring up my notes now. I'm a little. I need a second. We can start off by talking.
Yusef, cut all this out. I love this.
We can start off by talking about one that I feel like I've mentioned before, but I'll never stop talking about it. It was growing up. This was my ET, and that's Flight of the Navigator. That's like, I feel like it's a forgotten one. Sarah Jessica Parker is in it. It's got Pee Wee Herman as the voice of the alien who is like also the ship. It's got a cool little puppet friend. It's got time travel. It's really cool, really like kind of high concept, fun stuff. I really liked it, and I still do. Great 4th of July movie also. And then another one that I wrote down, but again, some of these I was like, are these underrated? Do people love this and I just don't talk to them?
People just don't talk about them as much. Let's say it that way.
Well, one that I know I used to be able to say was underrated, but now I feel like it's becoming one of those where now it's like a trend is a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Everyone talks
about it. Dude, it's so good.
It is legitimate. Like, it's one of those things like, I'm not mad that it's getting a second life. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be gatekeepy about it. Yeah. It's like, I just happen to have been enjoying it since it came out, and I feel very lucky. But for a long time, it felt like one of those that nobody saw, and now it's like everybody. It just like happened to be like everybody felt that way. Everybody loved it, but nobody ever talked about it. I guess.
Yeah. It's one of those
now you go to Target and buy a fucking Powerline shirt.
I have that Powerline shirt.
It's one of those few movies that even as a kid, it kind of plugged at your heartstrings. Mm-hmm. Because it has that core father-son relationship, and you even recognize, like, I remember like vividly watching it as a kid and going like, oh, maybe I am an asshole to my dad sometimes. Like maybe I should be more grateful for
Oh
this.
yeah, when he hits him with the line about, I don't want to control your life. I just want to be part of it.
Yeah,
Even as a child, you're like, damn.
always
And that's
fucking
and
remember-
you
too
wouldn't
much,
think,
Disney.
you wouldn't think Goofy could deliver gravitas like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I always just also remember like that whole scene where I think the heaviness is just him in the hot tub with the other dog.
oh yeah,
I forget his name.
Pete. Who?
Pete
If people
smoking
are
a
wondering,
cigar.
that's what my dad was like. Like,
Yeah,
for anybody
and I
who's
just remember
wondering,
thinking like,
Pete
wow,
is
Pete is
my
such
dad.
a shithead. And them talking and Goofy being like, well, I don't want to be like that. I have a Goofy movie too, but I still think it's underrated. Like it
It can
falls
never
in
be
that.
overrated because it's so fucking good. Like,
Yusuf,
I
what
have
do
a
you got?
bunch more, but like I'll let you guys go and we can like do an
Yeah,
honorable mention round or something.
I'll
So,
do.
who wants to go
I got two
next?
also. I got two also. I went with Robin Hood, the Fox version. I fucking
yeah.
love that movie.
See, again, that was one that I thought I was like, oh no, everybody
Doesn't
loves
get
that.
talked
So I
about.
didn't know if it was underrated enough. You know,
It's
I
probably
guess if it
one
hasn't
of.
been remade in live action, it's considered unknown. It's forgotten.
Hopefully,
Yeah, give them
hopefully
time,
they
Buck.
never
Give them time.
they
Give 'em
never
time.
do that because the animation is so good. I fucking love how his expression and his body language is so well designed that making it live action like they did to Lion King would just kill it. Like they did to Lion King, like the lion just walking fucking. I don't know.
That movie's so
I love
I,
that
uh,
movie. And
I also, that one's got another heartstring moment for me where he makes the little boy give up the shilling that he got for his birthday or what. Oh, brutal.
I don't think I've actually ever seen the Robin Hood.
Oh, you should. It's one of the
really
most
good. Yeah, absolutely.
one of the most entertaining adaptations of Robin Hood, I would say. Like,
It
I
has
also
been
have one on
plus,
my
right?
list that is something that's been adapted many times and I think never as successfully as this.
and the other one is because it's one of those few movies that I mean, obviously now I have Moana, but that I could identify because of being born on an island, Lilo and Stitch.
Love
I
Lilo
love
and
the
Stitch.
animation of Lilo and
I'm-
Stitch, and
Can we rewind to last week's episode and talk about how hot Lilo's sister is?
oh yeah.
Right?
Well, they hired. I saw it on a Twitter trend. I didn't know that they did this. The reason why all those animations are completely different from all of the other movies and they're so voluptuous is because they hired a pinup artist. So he's known to
Oh.
art like women,
He
and you're
gives
gonna
island, he
easily
gives those
find.
island girls their curves, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They're
Like,
very curvy.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I love that movie.
Ohana.
Lilo is hilarious. And yeah, TJ.
Oh, mine go back to like
Wait, can I? Oh, didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you, Jay. About Lilo and Stitch. I fucking hate Disney Plus because they literally drew over a scene to make it like appropriate to kids today, and it really
where they changed the laundry thing to a pizza oven, or to a pizza, not even a pizza oven.
Pizza
It's a
boxes.
pizza box. It's like a place where you put pizza boxes.
Yeah. And they removed the sound of it like closing. It pissed. Sorry, it just like it like almost makes me just want to like seek out the V8 the clamshell copy to watch it.
Hey, physical
In
media matters,
4:30.
baby. You know, people think it
We-
doesn't. People laugh at the bunker. They laugh at the DVD bunker, but
We
it
all
has
know-
its purposes.
And we all
We-
know he has
I
been
mean, I can
walking.
still laugh at it, Brian. TJ. TJ.
Me and Brian are bringing the bunker back together.
I'll laugh.
Boom.
TJ, fucking give me your answer.
oh yeah, Brother Bear. I mean, it's like one
Oh,
of those weird-
Ripperanus.
It kind of like touches back in like old Disney movies where like that there's a super sad like
I feel like
almost uncomfortable
even
moment
Disney-
in this.
even Disney was like, we'll give, and they kind of did Brave as like a do-over for Brother Bear.
yeah.
Even Disney gave up on that one.
But there are some like good like touching moments in it, and like it does explore like the Alaskan outdoors and shit like that. So like that's like stuff I loved, but like it hit the moment where Disney went dark, and you go, well, this isn't really like if Disney did a lot of this, they did like Bambi and stuff like those movies now, you'd be like, all right, that doesn't really fly. But like with this movie, it was like the last of the old school breed of them. There's not really too many more of those that like aren't because I mean
This is what I struggled with because I have a list of ones that I'm like, are these well known? Are they just
yeah,
am I
but
like?
also like I mean we're at the age where like Brother Bear is 2003 to where after that
It's almost gonna
unless you
be
have
it's damn near a
kids.
20-year-old movie now and stuff.
Yeah, unless you have kids,
I
you're
mean,
not gonna
yeah,
watch.
I kind of didn't want to pick like Emperor's New Groove because of that same
That's
train
not
of thought.
underrated.
Yeah.
That's properly.
But it's
So
not
I
like
might-
one of those like go to this when the people talk about Disney, they don't go Brother Bear, they don't go the Lilo and Stitch.
Emperor's New Groove definitely has a cult following for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure it has a cult.
So yeah, that was big when I was.
Brother
growing
Bear
up.
does
There were a
not
lot
have a
of
cult
kids.
following.
No, no.
Like, it sounds weird to say. Like, always the kid whose parent like got them good snacks was watching like Emperor's New Groove. Like that house had like Pop-Tarts, Gushers. They had all that shit. And they're like, "Do you want to watch Emperor's New Groove?"
Yeah,
And
They
you're
had
like,
they had a refrigerator just for soda out in the garage.
Yeah.
And it was
yeah, and you're like, "Oh, cool. We're gonna do this and get dirty with David Spade." Like, I get it.
You know what movie was like that? What was the one that was like Pixar before Pixar? Maybe.
Toaster, Brave Little Toaster.
No, that's like cartoon. That's animated. I'm talking about like the 3D It's a dinosaur movie. Is it just called Dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
Oh,
It's just
yeah,
called
okay.
Dinosaurs.
that came out way after Toy Story though.
Yeah, but it was like that one where they did the 3D thing. They tried to give like
Yeah.
an animals like personalities, but also
Right, the
super
realistic looking dinosaurs, but they talk and whatever.
I
Yeah.
remember the McDonald's toys from that movie. That's about it.
One of the last great McDonald's toys. They're garbage now.
All right, what,
So,
what do you got?
yeah,
What do you got,
that was
Joe?
the shit.
So I have so my number one, which I think it falls where it's like, was it underrated? It wasn't. Heavyweights. Heavyweights, like one of my all-time favorite comedies.
Yes. I'll give it
Iconic.
definitely
It
underrated.
holds up.
Same with, and I'm just gonna name the two live action. I'll name the two, then the cartoon ones. Sky High.
Oh, my wife loves.
I did
Sky
not
High.
discover
good.
Sky High till like 2 years ago in my late 30s,
So
and I was like,
good.
how did I? Because it came out at a time when I wasn't watching kids. I was like a grown ass adult when Sky High came out. Like I wasn't watching no kids movies.
So I didn't
It's
see it.
incredible.
We
It's
saw it
great.
briefly.
It's good.
So good. And then my other two was, and actually I picked it up out. I said I went to the DVD store today and like secondary. Lion King 1.5. It was a straight to DVD movie where it's like Timon and Pumbaa's journey through the Lion King.
It's got
And I
that.
remember,
It's got that Back to the
fun.
Future 2 vibe, right? Where you're kind of seeing the story from another perspective.
yeah,
Like-
it's fun. Like I've only ever seen it a few times. It literally was $1 today. I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick this up. But because my mom brought it home when I guess they released it on DVD, but she didn't buy the DVD. She bought it from the corner store, Bodega. You know, one of the burned like DVDs. And I remember being
Oh,
like, this is fun. She'd bring a stack of
Do
them.
New Jersey has bodegas?
She
Yes.
she taught in Newark. Yeah. So
Oh,
taught in the city. She's from there.
nice.
But anyway, so I remember that movie and being like, this was fun. I'll revisit it because now I have it. But like, I'm sure it's a great kids movie. And the other that I was thinking of, and then I have no other honorable mention, or Holes, but that's not underrated. Everyone loves Holes.
Well, Joe, how about
Yeah,
how
and,
about
and
this?
Shia LaBeouf is canceled now, so we should.
James and the Giant
Cancel
Peach.
channel.
But does Big Green count as Disney?
Was it a Disney movie?
Was Big
think
Green a
so.
Disney
I thought
movie?
that was Touchstone Pictures.
Was it?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
Freeze up.
How the fuck would you just pull that out of your ass? Touch those pictures. It's like,
I feel like
yeah,
half
that's
the movie-
Touchstone.
it's like
What's the
it's like the
Touchstone?
movie Andre. Like that was
What's the
Touchstone.
new
I
line
love Andre.
cinema?
Free
Big
Willy
Green?
isn't Disney. Free Willy's Warner Brothers, right?
Touchstone Pictures, baby. I don't know if I just feel like every movie was Touchstone Pictures back in the day. The Big Green is Disney, so that would TJ, that would count.
Great Big Green.
I don't remember that.
What?
That's
All I know
more-
about the Big Green is that it starred Ham from The Sandlot.
yeah.
It did, and it had a Spanish.
And he was
kid
basically
named-
playing the Goldberg, right? He was like the
Yeah.
Goldberg of that movie.
And it had a Spanish.
My
kid
Mighty
named
Ducks heads
Steven
out
Seagal.
there.
Very good, Yusef.
All right,
the other
let's do a quick. You got a quick honorable mention round
I'll
here.
start with the honorable mentions. It was taught. James and the Giant Peach. That was a
That
weird
was on
one.
mine. Killer. That's a good one.
All right. You guys fire others off because that's.
I got Sword in the Stone, like much like the Robin Hood. I feel like Disney did it best. I think Sword in the Stone is awesome. Plus, some of those older Disney movies, I'll tell you what's also killer about them. They're like 80 minutes. They just are a breeze to sit down and just have a good time with.
Was the Pagemaster Disney?
No, that's like knockoff Disney.
Yeah.
Probably like Don Bluth or some shit. Anybody ever watch Escape from Witch Mountain or Escape to Witch Mountain?
Oh yeah.
It was on TV all the time when I was a kid.
They did like the old '60s one. They did a remake in like the '80s.
Yeah, they did a remake with The Rock too.
The
like
Rock
too.
Yeah.
And then this one isn't good, but it has a soft spot in my heart because it was in the late '80s, and Disney was like, Billy Joel's a big thing. Do you think we can put Billy Joel in an animated movie and anybody would care? And that's Oliver and Company. He's like the dog, and he's got I mean, that movie's not great, but it's got a couple of Billy Joel songs in it, and Bette Midler too, and it's good. Like the music is great.
We definitely need a topic following week of like non-Disney animated movies from that era, like Rockadoodle.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got plenty of stuff to say about An American Tail, Land Before Time. We can talk about all them.
Save it.
Oh, save.
Any other?
Yusef's got a couple. You got a couple honorable mentions, Yusef?
Yeah. Oh no, the only one that I had in my head is like the best movie that came out in recent memory. That is by far better than like Frozen, and in my opinion, even Moana. Tangled, like that movie.
I have heard that. I don't think I ever watched it.
It's great. It has a very like Shrek vibe to it.
Yes, exactly. It was like Disney version of Shrek.
Yeah. Well, that I was going to ask you a question because we tried watching it recently, and I just turned it off because I got bored. But A Bug's Life for some people would be underrated, right? Like that's the forgotten.
Oh, I'm sure there are definitely people who consider that underrated because it's definitely the stepchild of Pixar.
TJ is more of a Woody Allen fan.
Yeah, I remember.
Ants.
We were an
Ants versus Alone too.
We were an Ants family, by the way. But just so you know, in that year we had the Ants coloring book. We had all the Ants shit. We didn't have the Bugs Life stuff. It was too expensive.
My mom shopped at Ollie's, so I got the Ants books.
I had an Ants coloring book.
We're moving on to TJ's topic, which is slow burn.
And now Yusef is stepping on Joe's episode. Everybody's just doing their own thing today.
Hi guys, I'm loose. You guys know that. It's like jazz.
TJ, what's your topic?
Slow burns in movies, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because the movie we watched one today, spoiler alert, is both a period piece and a slow burn horror. So we're doing a couple questions about period pieces and slow burn horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
They picked one of the slowest burn movies, which realized.
Slowest burn.
So my slow burn movie is the Zack Snyder cut.
It's 4 a slow hours, fizzle, more like it.
Slow fizzle. You really get some deep character story arcs.
I wanted to go one fucking episode without mentioning this goddamn thing. I'm just kidding.
So you get real deep in the characters and their feelings and their motives, and just something about this movie made me like really feel like I feel like we missed out on getting like a good movie when this first came out. So how do you guys feel about this?
I haven't watched it. I'm not gonna spend 4 hours of my life on that bullshit.
Well,
Harrison wanted to watch it, so I watched it.
The movie's fine. It truly is.
It's
fine.
Like they went from bad to mediocre, but it's 4 hours long, so like it's also bad.
Yeah.
It just when I found out that there was accumulation of slow motion that added up to 25 minutes, I was like, so you mean that movie could have been shorter?
Well, my whole thing here, and I know Zack Snyder loves his slow motion, but when your whole gimmick with the Flash is you're already just doing the shit from Days of Future Past anyway, you gotta be more, you gotta like savor that slow motion to make it mean something. Now, now Wonder Woman also moves in super speed, and also you're doing slow motion, depressing shots of Lois Lane setting down a coffee cup. It's just like you're totally undermining. Like, how am I supposed to feel? Like these all feel the same to me.
The only good shot in slow motion from
Is it
him
even a
is
slow
when
burn?
hey man, I'm talking.
It's
The
not a slow
only
burn.
good
They packed so
shot-
much in, it couldn't possibly be a slow burn.
The only good shot where they use slow motion is when Superman looks at the Flash.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's in the Whedon cut.
I'm saying like that's the only good use of slow motion. in
That
the
is
entire
a great
film.
moment in both cuts. It's probably one of the only things I like about the movie is that
Well,
moment where the
Brian,
Flash
I'm
is
gonna
like,
block you.
"Oh
Yeah.
fuck."
I'm gonna block.
All right,
you.
so slow
Fuck
burns.
up.
I'm gonna pick the Witch. The
Oh,
Witch.
that's
I
on my
fucking love
list.
The Witch.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's on my
Yeah.
list too. I tried to have some. I was like, I gotta get some that aren't from the last 5 or 6 years because
Well,
prestige horror has really like come of age in the last couple of years. We've
Yeah.
got
I'm
a
gonna
lot
pair
more-
it. I'm gonna pair it with The Wicker Man, the original one.
Oh,
So both are great slow burns with a huge ending payoff they make it worth it, unlike the movie that we saw. But it's so good that you just go like, yes, it was worth the build up. It was worth all that I waited, because that movie, when she goes into the woods and before that, I feel like the payoff is truly in the barn when she's talking with
Yeah.
Black
Probably-
Phillip.
You gotta be invested in a slow burn. Like you gotta be invested in their atmosphere and drama to be hooked.
But
in
that's
it, regardless of what's
like
gonna
going on to like a topic we're gonna do soon. This one nails it because it has you pulled in because
Yeah, I feel like it's a both. It's a
Mhm.
dual answer for me, because the
Yes.
use of Old English and
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
costume
that's-
design, set design is fantastic. So it really does pluck you in that period piece as well. So it's kind of a dual answer as well.
I
Well, because
really
you don't have to
think-
talk during the next question then.
Yep. See you guys.
that actually was my pick for the next question too. But no, I really like also with keeping with the horror. One of my favorite horror movies, Rosemary's Baby, is a slow burn. That's just like
That was
nothing
on
really.
my list too. I'm glad I wrote down so many.
And nothing really
don't
like.
say it, TJ. Don't say it, TJ. Don't say it,
You
TJ.
shouldn't say it. You shouldn't say it. You're
You
wrong.
shouldn't, man, because it's a fan-fucking-tastic movie.
And I don't care. I mean, yes, we can say that Roman Polanski's a piece of shit. Was that what you were
he's
gonna
a
say?
But he made a good movie.
He
made
made
a
one,
good-
at least one good movie though. It's not a good movie.
It is.
I'll pick another topic. That movie's great. Not
Sorry,
a movie.
3-on-1. You're wrong. We voted.
Not you should watch on a date, which I did in high school, and it was not the smartest decision on my
A
end.
lot of naked Mia Farrow at the beginning there.
Just she was like, "This is weird." I'm like, I probably should have picked something like normal, not art.
Were you now? I want to just real quick diversion. Something we never do. I want to know a little bit about Joe, high school date Joe. Were you like, I'm a movie nerd and I want to like show the movies I like to girls, and you did not take into account that like normal high school girls don't want to watch that shit? Or was she kind of cool and you thought she
No,
would be
she
into
wasn't. This was a girl. Like I usually would talk to girls who were cool. This was one who was like, oh, older, hotter girls into me when she wants to come over. But we were like looking through on demand, and I remember being like, "Oh, this is scary," and not kind of like just thinking it through.
Yeah.
You
Spoiler
want to know?
alert.
You want to know about?
This story has a payoff. Spoiler alert. So my parents were out of town. That's why I was like, "Oh, come over." My uncle
got
was
pregnant.
He came in about an hour into the movie.
Talk about Joe's baby.
Your uncle comes in. How far into the
he just
movie?
he just sits down and watches it with and I'm going like, pick up the hint, Uncle Mick, like like get out.
Yeah.
And he just goes, wow, that was stupid. I'm like, all right, so it was
He watched the whole movie, like all of Rosemary's Baby with you, and then was like, "This is stupid," and left.
yeah.
So
And
your
it
uncle's
was-
TJ. He cock-blocked
my
you and he
favorite-
said the movie was
which is
bad.
pretty
my
funny.
my favorite high school date in a movie theater. I honestly don't remember the movie, but we got there late, so we had to be up front, and both of us, instead of like normally in a date you want to go like this and
Yeah,
we were
since
both-
you were like,
we were both opposite sides like this, trying to fucking
Like in a V away from each other.
Yeah, we were pointing away from each other, and her parents sat right behind us, and they were not even looking at the movie. They were just like this, like on top.
Just watching you, and you're like trying to slip your hand over, and they're not having it.
Yeah, nothing happened for sure.
Anyway,
Brian.
that's just with Rosemary's
Slow
Baby. Brian, I think. The only other slow burn I want to say, because I don't think this deserves honorable mention, is the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford is a fantastic movie.
Well, I was gonna say, is a movie a slow burn just because it's long? That's kind of the question. Like,
No, but that movie.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
No, because Lord of the Rings is not a slow burn. And
True,
it's super
that's
fucking
fair.
long.
That's fair.
Dude,
Same
Jesse
thing
James,
with the Snyder
like
cut.
Taxi Driver's on my list too. Like that's a slow burn too.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right, fair. One I know I got right off the top, and I know Yusuf will agree with me, both the original and the remake of Suspiria. Fucking excellent. Long, drawn out, twisting the knife, slow, and it's very methodical and different. Also, if you if you were worried that I don't want to watch the new Suspiria because I've already seen Suspiria, very different movies. Check out the new one. Cannot highly recommend it. Like in the era,
both can stand next to each other.
In the era of Hereditary and Midsommar and The Witch, when all these like prestige horror starring women have been coming out, Suspiria stands among them. It's very good.
And I feel like because you tweet about it every time you watch it, like I feel like your wife really likes those movies.
Oh,
too,
she loves
right?
them. She absolutely loves them. Very good. Another one I just mentioned, Midsommar. I know a lot of people were kind of underwhelmed by Midsommar and prefer Hereditary. I love Midsommar. I
actually like Midsommar more than Hereditary.
I like, yeah, and Hereditary is one that like didn't blow my skirt up, and maybe just the hype machine had gotten a little too high, and I could. But I wanted to revisit it because it wasn't definitely a movie that I thought was bad or anything. I was just kind of like, okay, that was all right, you know.
But I love this thing where like. Yeah, I'll give Toni Collette a lot of shit for like overacting. She's so great in it, but I just don't think she deserves everything.
No,
she is.
Is it weird to say?
So good.
The Hereditary, Hereditary scared the hell out of me. Like after this, like it's nighttime, I couldn't put on Hereditary.
Lots of dick, lots of old dick.
Let's watch Hereditary. But I probably could put on Midsommar and think it's a better movie and be scared, but like put it on at night and be like, I don't
think Midsommar is scary, but what it stands out between them is that it really fucking sucks you in. So you really go in that world and you're really enveloped. In Hereditary, you're very aware that you're watching.
You kind of just like in this this place of like kind of in limbo where you cannot get comfortable. And also, I'll say it. I love a horror movie that can achieve that in the daytime, everything bathed in bright lights and bright colors,
and it's a great homage to my pick, Wicker Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The slow burn's a tricky thing, but when it pays off, they truly pay off.
I want to mention two more. One is like iconic, The Shining. Obviously, like an all-timer.
Pick that up today too.
And then a second one I had to throw out here. This is one of my favorite horror movies of the last couple of years, and it was a Netflix release, The Ritual. So incredible. And man, when it breaks off and you finally like fully go in on what's going on, it's incredible. It's so good. I don't want to like ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but really great stuff.
Just quarter way in when they wake up in the cabin. And the one dude's like naked, so good.
It's got something that we'll talk about that I think the movie we're talking about today was missing, which is like it needed just a little bit more sprinkled throughout.
Yes, dude, I have a note in my
notes, like it's
right,
but we'll get to it.
I agree. I agree with that.
In my head because I literally didn't take any notes. I just watching the movie.
Absorbed.
But in my head, it was like, it's missing something for me to chew on while it's building to something.
I feel the same way about It Follows. I saw It Follows on a couple of lists of slow burns. I know people really like it, and I thought it was decent, but it was missing like one horror beat right in the middle to like keep you invested. It kind of like dragged in the middle of it.
Just so I don't forget this thought, you know what, like, House of the Devil is missing in that with the slow burn? It's missing, like, the scratching on the wall, essentially. It's missing the little things that keep you, just like the breadcrumbs. It's missing something that...
There's just not enough of that in it. But yeah, we'll get to that one. Is there anything else before we move on to our period piece question?
I don't think TJ picked.
Oh, did he have a serious answer? I thought he was just bullshitting around.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't know if this counts as like a slow burn or if it's the twist thing, but it is an M. Night movie. But like the visit, like it has that long pull throughout the movie to where like you don't know what's happening. There's a weird little sense that at some point you do get.
I would say that. I can see that. Sure.
Yeah, but it's not that simple. Just like I see dead people twist. It's just like it's a cool little like. And then also has a comedic twist with like the little boy with the old man when he puts his, spoilers when they do the diaper in the face.
I thought you were gonna talk about the kids rapping. So
that annoyed me.
That didn't land.
I picked
that works. Well, that's like the
honorable mention. Honorable mention: Chinatown and The Invitation.
Ooh, yeah, I saw The Invitation on the list I was looking at, and I was like, that was pretty good.
The Guest was a nice one too, but I mean that's another one where it's like
it has a lot of action.
Yeah, in between.
So.
Where the GIF. Did anybody see the GIF, the Joel Edgerton movie? The GIF.
Yes. That's one of my favorite movies.
That was not too bad. That's a pretty decent slow burn. I didn't really think about it till just now. I think I had it and I got rid of it because it's one of those things I don't think I would revisit a lot, but it's pretty good.
It's a weird rewatch.
Yeah.
I think I own the GIF. I got to check when we get it.
That's like a movie you introduce to somebody that like you're like, you ever seen this? And they go, oh, I want to watch like a thriller hard. And you're like, have you ever seen The Invitation? Invitation I might watch again. But like The Gift, it's like a weird.
I've seen The Invitation multiple times.
I've watched
The Gift. I've only seen once.
I've watched it a few times. I like it's like the type of thriller I like. But
the other one in the similar vein is It Comes at Night from Joel. Actually,
yeah. I was gonna say one that reminds me of that was 1 Hour Photo, the Robin Williams movie.
I haven't seen that either. I want to.
And actually that would fit with this category. That's a slow burn, and it's a good one.
Nothing really happens.
A little.
I don't know. I think film develops.
Well, Well, I think the thing with the slow burns though, the hardest movies to recommend to people.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll be like, I love this movie. It was so good. They'll be like, oh, I should watch it. Joe really likes movies. Like, he should know it. And you always be like, no, it's like really like it's slow paced. Like you have to be wanting to watch this. I don't know how to explain it. And 9 times out of 10, these people always come back and be like, that wasn't very good. And you're like,
yeah, it is. It's a tough
or
one.
like nothing happened.
Does Mandy qualify as a slow burn?
Yes, Mandy is a slow burn.
I would say
Mandy is one of the best slow burns I've seen in such a fucking long time.
Willy's Wonderland.
I haven't seen that one yet. Is it good?
I heard some pretty bad reviews about that, actually.
It's great. It's fun.
Red Letter Media took it too seriously.
All right.
That's what I know you're talking about. Red Letter Media because
I was talking about it just a little bit ago. About how Red Letter Media was shit talking at Event Horizon. I was like, man, you guys, take some swings, guys. Take some swings.
Agree to disagree.
I'll send you the digital code because I bought the Blu-ray.
Of what?
Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, nice.
Send me the. All right, so period pieces. What movie best depicts a period and where it's set in, or if you want to take it another route, a style of movie like this one? It's kind of like an 80s slasher.
I mean, this one does take place in the 80s. It's supposed to take place in 83.
Sure. Let's see if you read the question right.
You gave him two options.
I picked period piece that like best depicts its era, and I went newer because it's one I could actually say like, oh, this is a period. This is an era that depicted well. The Social Network is a period piece.
Oh yeah.
And they fucking nailed the Adidas flip flops and the Gap sweatshirts, and just that whole look of that movie.
And it's almost harder to do a period piece that's only like less than 10 years back. That's, you know what I mean? It's like you're hitting a very specific era.
It's early 2000s.
Made in the early 2010s.
Yes. And I remember watching that and someone saying, like, after I'm trying to review me, like, it's a period piece. And that's always stuck with me because I'm like, oh, shit, that is. Yeah, I have other what we've been doing honorable mentions, and I'll leave that for after. But
I've
the
actually been
social
very
network
impressed at everybody's output today. Everybody had so many answers.
Yeah.
I want to follow up because my pick is Zodiac.
I had Zodiac on my
Zodiac
list
on my list too.
Like
Maybe the
because
best
you
period
said
piece.
social like
Maybe the best movie.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's literally the best use of
can I
CGI
What are
ever.
the
For the
four movies
podcast,
of Fly?
everyone
Real quick, what are the four movies of Flyover? Child's Play 2, Prometheus, Zodiac. What's the fourth one?
Ooh, damn. Zack Snyder's.
Guys, speaking of Zodiac, look what I just got in the mail the other week. It is the soundtrack. It is a vinyl.
Wow, that's fucking
dope.
2 discs. It is beautiful, and I'm only going to show you because look at this shit. This like blood red.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I'm
Apologies to the audio listeners. He's doing a great. It's
There's a really nice Zodiac disc. It's red. It looks really like blood. It's real dope.
Anyway, I was surprised they sell like a
copy of a letter
cover.
each, John.
But yeah, my real pick real quick, and I'll just say it real quick, and then you guys can talk. Nobody's seen this movie. Nobody cared about this movie, but I loved it for some fucking reason. 2015's Macbeth, starring Michael Fassbender, is so goddamn fucking good. It really sets the tone of that era and that greediness, and it's so dark and ugly, and it's so well done. I really love that fucking movie. Nobody cared about it.
Is that Helena Bonham Carter? Is she Lady Macbeth in that?
No. I'll tell you.
That might be an older one. That might be the
Sweeney
is
Todd.
is that the Mel Gibson one? No, he did Hamlet. Anyway.
I don't even know if she was ever Lady Macbeth. I just remember that. I remember the Michael Fassbender movie getting hyped up from all like the
It's the girl. It's the one from Inception, Marianne Colette.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Cotillard.
All right, I wasn't far off. I mean, she's.
Yes, you were. No,
She's
you're
a
way
completely different
off.
person, Joe. So
And also, like generationally, they're like 20 years apart in age.
But yeah, I love that movie, and
at least I read the question right.
It's very well made. If you like kinda Shakespeare movies, that's one of the best adaptations that I've ever seen. TJ, period piece or whatever.
I mean, the one that's like a pretty like low hanging fruit for me, and one that Joe, what was yours again?
Social Network.
The one thing that hurt Social Network for me is like at that period in time, I think like a sophomore in high school when Facebook started to like take off. Is like those people in the colleges at that time would be like shredded or like drenched in fucking like name brands.
Oh, you're right. They'd be
Tommy
like
Hilfiger and shit.
They had Gap, yeah, that was cool, but it would be like American Eagle, Abercrombie,
you're
like
right.
all those things.
No, that's a good
This
point.
movie nailed it because Dazed and Confused, I think.
Yes, that's on my list.
The only reason I didn't talk about it because I just brought it up on like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, these movies are like the music, the cars, the neighborhoods that you see, even like God damn it,
it feels so authentic. It really does.
Yeah,
you wouldn't think it came out in like 92.
Yeah, 94. 94 is when it came out, and like it did its thing. I have another one too that I'll save for honorable mentions, but like Dazed and Confused had like all of like the shell tops on top of like having the cowboy boots, the bell bottoms. It was like the end of like the disco era, but like going into like the 80s grunge, 90s almost.
Off the back of this though, can I shout out Detroit Rock City?
Yes,
that's another one that depicts that era, that like the death of disco and the birth of metal, and kind of like right in that era.
I remember I watched Dazed and Confused like with my dad, like probably when I was talking earlier, like the 8th grade was like the Doors, or like early high school.
I let Harrison.
And my dad. I remember I asked my dad, I was like, "Oh, is this what it's like?" Like it would then, because I was around the year him and my mom graduated a year, and because my dad grew up in the ghetto in the city, he was like, "I don't know, I didn't have. If this was it, this was not the experience I had in." because they're like the suburbs of
Even though I graduated
Texas, yeah.
in 2000, I felt like it felt authentic to the experience.
Oh, I'm
Even though the time and era felt like the 70s, the experience of like that kind of last year of high school and like experimenting with freedom and like kind of becoming an adult, but a little bit still being a kid. All that rang totally true. And then the vibe of the actual era felt, right on the money too.
Yeah.
Is it Richard Linklater's best movie? And I think it probably might be.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
You that 80s.
Boyhood, it took 12 years. It took 12 years.
I don't know. Slacker has Alex Jones in it, and so does A Scanner Darkly. So,
Wait, really?
yeah, he's in both of those. Absolutely.
No.
Because Richard Linklater's from Austin. He's one of those Austin filmmakers. And long before Alex Jones became the Alex Jones we know now, he was like a crackpot from Austin who would just like say this shit more locally. He didn't have the platform yet, but he was around. And he was kind of like, people just were like, oh, this guy. So Richard Linklater slapped him in a couple movies. He was just like, look at this fucking dude. Crazy, right?
Fox.
But anyway.
You're making him gay.
My turn now? It's up. To you.
Yeah.
So,
TJ, that's a great pick.
I had a couple. I have like a pair of picks that kind of address both sides of the question here. One very recent, but really hit me hard, and I really liked it. And I know it was divisive. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep.
Fucking incredible. Whether you like the movie or not, the production design and the vibe and the way they captured the late 60s Hollywood is so cool. It's great. It's really good. And all the way everybody looks, the way everybody acts, and just it's great. And then the kind of other one I wanted to mention was Death Proof. It's set in the year it came out, but it feels like a movie from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, I think he emulates the style so perfectly of like the movies he's trying to emulate, like Bullet and those kind of like car movies from the 60s and 70s, and I think that's really awesome. I think Death Proof is underrated.
But isn't just Tarantino just a master at that to begin?
Well, emulating styles is
Tarantino's
whole thing. He like blends and he takes what he likes and he mixes it and matches it, and some people like that and some people don't. I've been a fan.
Another one that captured the style. Vast of Night, TJ and I covered it.
Yeah,
it really felt like
I just recently caught up with that. Actually, very fun. That was a nice little movie.
I don't know if like those type of movies like benefit from having a smaller, because like now, like if we were to do, we would never FlyOver State of Film. I mean, maybe one day, but if we were to do one, like if you do a period piece, I feel like it'd be cheaper and like more beneficial to do a period piece and use maybe like the style like shots they use in the Vast of Night compared to like trying to go, crazy CGI, like special effects and all that crazy.
Well,
shit.
I mean, don't get me started on the fucking. If you start watching movies on Netflix and Hulu and shit, you realize that people talk about there's no more low budget. No, we're in the boom times of low budget filmmaking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like every other sci-fi movie you watch takes place in 2 rooms. You know what I mean? It's all cerebral. It's all about the idea. It's all a bunch of like local actors.
Could you imagine like Willy's Wonderland? Perfect example. That shit is low budget as it comes. Nick Cage literally doesn't say a fucking word the entire.
That was his choice because he didn't want to fucking read.
Not one word. Not one fucking word.
He probably would have made. They were like, it was probably like a pay thing. Like, well, you have to do, if you do this, then we have to do more promotion. It somehow got him out of work or something.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be like the Silent Man.
Yeah.
My favorite actor is Charlie Chaplin. I just wanted to be him one movie.
Let's get this honorable mention round going. We're having this. We're vibing. Let's keep it up.
I wrote Jojo Rabbit.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
That was everyone else said every other pick I wrote down. So
Yusef, you got anything left in the tank?
Yeah. Emma, 2020. Fucking love that movie. It's very Pride and Prejudice.
The Gwyneth Paltrow.
Anya Taylor-Joy, right?
The one that plays chess.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she plays chess in it. Absolutely.
She plays chess in that one too.
the Matt Reeves Let Me In, or Let Everyone In.
Yeah.
Ooh, great.
That's a great little piece. Even though it's small, it's just like you
But it's
feel
like, what is
okay,
it, set in the late 80s or early 90s?
Yeah, you feel
Not-
it like in the
Not a
back of
period
cars.
piece, but I always remember this bit of trivia. Remember the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke and he has the NES game where you're like Ram Jam or whatever, and they play it, which is a period piece partially at that time. That apparently was the hardest thing to get replicated and make working, to find someone who could make a functioning
You do an
NES
8-bit, like, then make it look right.
in like 2009
And
or
make
whatever.
a game you could make it actually playable so that in the
And it
scene
wa-
he could be playing it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Joe.
And so it made me, yeah.
Tell us about your movie.
No, wait, I
Okay,
got 2 more
yeah.
honorable mentions. Shut up.
Oh, I thought you said Joe.
Shut the fuck up.
You said Joe. Close it out. God damn it, man.
two of my favorite period pieces. One from just a couple years ago, The Sisters Brothers. It's so fucking good.
Good one.
And I love, not only it's a great Western, but they also have a great scene where they go to you get to see kind of like the city of San Francisco in the late 1800s.
Yep.
And like, it's much closer to being a real city. Like you think
the
about the
problem.
Wild West, but you forget that there were these cities that had grown. Like, we're talking about almost in the 1900s, cars are getting invented and shit.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool vibe to see too, like real old school cowboys kind of roll into that. And then another movie that is one of those ones I always feel like I bring up because I just try to get more and more people to watch it is The Duelists. It's Ridley Scott's first movie before Alien, but it's set like kind of during and after the Napoleonic Wars. So you're talking about like the 1800s, I think. I don't know the exact dates.
He's always been trying to make period pieces. Is what
Oh
you're saying.
yeah, Ridley Scott loves himself a period piece, and he's pretty good because Ridley Scott's got an eye for production value. He loves to make things,
Do
like
future movies count as period pieces?
No, but
no, because they're
there's a
science
lot of
fiction.
them
Because
that
we don't
2001
know. They're not
Space Odyssey.
recreating
man.
anything.
Fantastic. It really captures the tone of that future.
But I always love The Duelist. I love the vibe of it. I love the look of it. So I always try to bring it up.
Yeah, so next, the movie I chose was Edward Norton's The Illusionist.
We should do an episode where we like match up all the like Illusionist and Prestige, Dante's Peak and Volcano, Armageddon, and we got to figure out something.
That would be
Maybe
fun.
a bracket
That would be
or
fun.
something we can do with that. There's an idea there,
We
guys.
haven't done a bracket in a while.
I wonder why, TJ. I wonder why.
No, we're back, baby. There's none of this bullshit.
No, what is it now? We're not bringing this animosity. I thought everything was worked out, guys.
Yeah, we're
Don't
back.
bring the behind-the-scenes drama onto the pod. Hey, it's all good, guys. Hey.
Kiss?
Mom and dad are fight. Look, mom just hit dad at the dinner table again.
I'm not the mom. We're the dads. You two.
I don't know. I'm
Brian
drinking
and
rom.
I are mom and dad.
Why?
I just did the kid.
I'm the
Slap
molesty uncle. I'm
I
drinking
beat the
Rolling
shit out of
Rocks.
the
Yeah, Joe's grandpa in my house from based on the Rolling Rocks.
kid. Joe's got in a bottle.
Yeah, just sit on my lap.
So real quick,
Joe, fucking introduce this.
All right,
this
so-
we're gonna talk about for like 2 minutes.
All right, yeah. So this movie I picked out of panic. I've actually always wanted to pick for FlyOver House of the Devil. It's Ty West's essentially first theatrical film, and his best film. I think this is the plot of this movie is very simple. A college student girl needs money and takes an ad from like the local like rec center in the college or wherever, and answers it for a babysitter. And the guy's like, "Hey, you're not actually need a babysitter. I just need to come over and sit at my house. There's no baby." She accepts, and
well, it's not a baby, it's an old lady, right?
It's an old lady. It's an old lady, but you never see the old lady. So it's essentially like she's like, okay, this is weird, but I need the money. I need to pay rent.
She kind of extorts him.
Mm-hmm. She does. I like it.
Okay, that was literally the only note that I have in my head. Would you have negotiated that extra 100? Like, you're in his house, you don't know what the fuck is happening. This is a very creepy dude, and you're like,
And
you know
Tom
what?
Noonan is creepy.
I love how Tom Noonan looks frail in this, but is still very scary.
Is he the new Tom Atkins?
We love
He's
our
tying
Toms,
up-
guys.
He's tying up Tom. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should just do
Anyway,
Last Action
long
Hero
story
and just
short,
put him up at the
This
top.
has to do with the satanic cult and ritual killing. Just take it away. So my initial thoughts were, this is a movie. Maybe I saw it at the right time, like early college, where
Came out in 2009. I don't remember when I
Yeah,
the
so
thing
I
about
saw it
this
probably
is-
in 2010. I went to college in 2010, 11, and I probably saw it that year, and I was like,
That lead.
I love the style, like the cast. I did like the slow burn, especially like it's like only like an hour and 45 minutes. It's not like overly long too, so it feels long. I get it, guys. There's a lot of dead points, and I do want to put this one thing.
Are you the babysitter?
Everyone here except for me watched it on Tubi, and I
No,
think
I watched it on Amazon.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sorry. Watching
Oh, it was on Amazon?
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
the fuck did I
shit.
watch it on Tubi, Joe? You
Yeah,
said it
what
was
the
only
fuck,
on
So
Joe.
watching on Tubi with the commercial breaks really ruin, like,
Yes.
I feel like interrupts its like the vibe of the movie.
Yeah, it was
Joe
free. Well, I
Flynn.
mean, free with subscription, so I watched it on Joe's Amazon, but I watched it on Amazon.
I bought the Blu-ray. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's I love
Well,
the.
let me interrupt you, Joe.
Effects in it. Yeah,
That's what I do best. I remember watching this movie. I knew I had seen it before, but I had its ending mixed up with another slow burn horror movie that I watched around the same time. So, like, when we were getting to the end, I did actually get kind of surprised. I was like, oh, okay. This is what happens in this movie. Because I had kind of forgotten. So it was weird. I was like, I think I had watched this and another movie that I thought were both fine and not great, and I kind of like intermixed them. So it was good to go back and at least differentiate them, if nothing else. And going back, like this movie is, it's well made and it's well executed. He's definitely like deliberate. Like he did everything he's doing is on purpose, and I respect that from his from a directorial standpoint. He did a good job achieving what he was set out to do. I just don't think it works 100% for me. It's a little too slow. It's a little too much build up without. He needed like a couple more moments sprinkled in to just keep the tension up. Like you have the moment that TJ was talking about, where the girl who's not the babysitter with Greta Gerwig, Oscar nominated director Greta Gerwig, gets her face blown off.
Fucking great scene though.
That is great, but then it's a really long time between that and the next scene that hits like that, which I would say is where she goes up to the door and we see on the other side of the door that there's been like a ritual killing of the family that probably lived in that house. She doesn't see it, but we see it. And I think it's like a long time between those two moments, and I feel like
there's a lot of pause.
There needed to be something in the middle there more than her just walking around the house by herself a lot.
Yeah, and eating bad pizza. We don't care.
Yeah.
But is there a true payoff? Like I have a few other things that I want to talk about the movie, but I really want to focus on the ending. Like there is a lot of tension.
Should we talk about the body of the movie first at all? I mean, is there anything to say?
No.
Literally, she goes to the house and hangs out. There's just not a lot happening. That might
okay, fine. Let's not jump to the end. I'm gonna literally jump back to the beginning, and I fucking love that they say that it's based on true events, because I miss movies that say that are based on true events. I fucking love it. Yeah, but also I always have found that fascinating. And I've read a book on it, and I've listened to a few podcasts on it. The satanic panic that happened in the United States. I've always found it fascinating, and one could argue that that's like the foundation for the QAnon movement. Like people just believing any fucking stupid shit that somebody tells you that is real. But it feels like if you're setting it in the satanic panic movement, there was so much meat on that fucking bone that they could have gnawed at, and as soon as I saw it, because I've never seen this movie, as soon as I saw it, it was like, oh, in the 80s there was a satanic panic. I got so excited because, like I said, like I don't think that's another thing. They have that little title card at the beginning. Yes. They don't fully pay that off. I agree.
So I think the thing with this is, I think Ty West, the director, was too obsessed with making a movie just like from the 70s to to add little more scares in there, right? Like to me, like I said, like going back and we're revisiting this is usually just a Halloween around the time watch where I'm like in the fucking mindset of like these movies every
And you're
year.
just churning them out. You're just burning through them at that point.
So
too.
I'm like,
I know how that is at
it's
Halloween. You
great.
can throw on a horror movie and you're like barely even watching. It's just like it's like a hum in the background.
But I actually wish I did pick, and you're talking about Satanic Panic, is the movie that came out last year, Satanic Panic, because that movie's a fucking blast.
I haven't seen that.
It's fun.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It's
before
it's
after before after T.I. did ATL.
Oh, this is before. Oh,
Okay.
T.I. Oh.
Yeah.
ATL would be. This is after ATL.
ATL came out in like the early 2000s, didn't it? Yeah.
I hate. God damn it.
Here's something I was thinking about this movie.
He's like, no.
Is like if it was authentically from the early 80s or late 70s, I probably would give it more of a pass. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think
Brian,
so?
I don't think so
love the
because
title.
it's not a matter of when it was set. Because let's say like
love the
Black,
ending.
But I mean, if it was like made
Christmas,
in that era, like it was authentically just a new movie that came out, like it's Suspiria. It came out in 83.
I mean, but that's what I was gonna say. Like Suspiria or like Black Christmas, both of them are very slow. Which
This
actually,
felt like
yeah,
Black Christmas.
actually, let me backtrack. Joe, are you just like the horror guy of this fucking episode
I guess.
podcast? You
Seems
have like
that way,
Black
doesn't
Christmas, Urban Legend.
It feels like
Yiddish
Urban
Scene.
Legend and Black Christmas, actually. Like
Huh?
mixed together. This
It doesn't
movie
feel like
is
Urban Legend. There's no authentic
Guys,
murderers.
there was a lot more meat. We'll be honest. There was a lot more meat on my last pick,
They're
which was The
making
Devil's
friends.
Candy.
And the Devil's Candy. Yeah, you have like six
Damn,
fucking.
yeah, you got a lot of horror movies on here,
I
bro.
like watching horror movies. I don't get a
Oh, man,
chance
I
to
love
watch them
horror
very
too.
often.
You're like,
No, honestly, it's great.
just took over the mantle of the horror guy on this fucking episode as podcast. I mean,
But I get like the conversation here because I'm literally I'm watching it going, oh yeah, because remember last game we were just like I have a game and the game did not work, so I was like House of the Devil.
so I didn't finish my point. Sorry. So you're saying that if it would have been made in the 70s, you would have given it more leeway.
I might
But,
have.
like,
I'm not
movies like-
sure of that, but I was thinking
But
that
Black,
while I was
but Black
watching it.
Christmas and like Suspiria, just to mention two, have a lot of moments in between that grabs you and you go like, all right, this suspense is worth it. It's worth it because it's building up to moments in between that are.
You're probably right.
I love the ending of this movie. I mean, like I really like the ending of this movie. To me, is a good. It's like fun, or
Yeah, I do. I agree that it
Well,
has
it-
a pretty
it
solid
hits.
ending.
It just
Are we gonna
needs-
spoil? Are we a spoiler podcast? Do we spoil endings?
Yeah, spoil
Have
this
you
shit.
never been one?
Yeah,
I don't
movies
know.
are. Spoil this shit.
Spoilers in 3, 2,
You're more
1.
descriptive than me. Spoil
Well, I'm
this
just
shit.
saying, like, it's not even a spoiler, but like, eventually it turns out there is a witch. I'll tell you one thing I really appreciated is they impregnate her with the Antichrist or whatever they're doing, but they do it without a rape. I appreciate the lack of a rape scene. Thanks. I don't need it.
Have you guys
Did you
ever
use like a
watched?
turkey baster?
No, it was just like she just like drew some like shit in blood and waved her
She
hand
just,
over
like,
it.
Vomited blood in her mouth.
Yeah,
like,
that
she
was
like
shit that's
blood. She poured blood from like a goat's head into her mouth,
Yes.
and then like
That-
drew
that
on her
thing
belly and like
was a
yeah. But there was no
It's-
rape, is the point.
It's very cerebral.
It took me 2.5 days to watch. Though that's I'm gonna say that
I did doze during the end, even though it was the climax. I was already kind of like, well, yep.
Well, have you guys watched Ty West's other like his written directed horror movie?
No, but recently I saw him get murdered in Your Next.
Yeah. So
the
he
guy actually isn't the guy that kills Greta also in Your Next, right? Am I
Yeah,
They're all the
misremembering?
same
He's
crew.
like he's the fiance or whatever.
So
Yeah.
that's a good
Who
movie.
comes back.
I hadn't seen it. Like that was one that me and my wife just
Well,
just
What I'm
rewatched.
telling you
I
is,
thought I had seen it, and then when I was watching, I was
So
like, I actually
good.
don't think I've seen this.
So good.
So what
That's
I'm
good.
telling you guys is, don't watch The Innkeepers.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's his other movie that got like really good reviews. It's an even slower burn, but it's with Sarah Paxton and Tim Healy, and they're in charge of like this New England hotel that's closing,
Okay.
and it's like, Yeah, that's haunted.
And they keep it.
It's not very good.
Well, he tried,
I'm sorry, Joe. You know what I really loved about this movie? The score. It's a good score, and also the intro is fucking fantastic. Like the music and
The
the
title card
card.
sets the stage. Yeah.
Well, like I said, nothing. I
not-
definitely would not take away anything from his the directorial skill that went in. Like he did what he set out to do. He perfectly recreated a movie from that era. Like he nailed it. The vibe, the look, everything. I just think for me, and it's like we talked about, I like the ending. Like the way it plays out is cool and everything, but it just didn't quite get there. Not even quick enough. I don't care about the length or anything. It needed a few more breadcrumbs to keep me interested along the line.
Like I was watching the movie and I texted Joe screenshots of the Greta Gerwig moment, and I was like, all right, there's gonna be moments like this that are gonna keep me in the fucking groove of the movie.
But it's
It's like, oh my god, Speak Size so bad. That's like the other twist of the movie.
Yeah, it needs something after the Greta had blown off to keep you
Like I
interested.
said, it really reminded me of when I was looking for Slow Burns and I saw It Follows. It's very much the way I felt about It Follows. A great looking movie, cool soundtrack, like real vibe to it. But it needed like one more horror beat in the middle to kind of keep it moving.
What was the other movie that came out during It Follows?
Babadook?
That it was like a blind man.
Don't
Don't Breathe?
Don't Breathe. That one. I have to.
I love Don't Breathe. I think Don't Breathe is great.
That one.
Don't Breathe is one of those
Stephen
ones though
Lang,
where you're
very
talking
scary.
about like where you're like, I probably won't never revisit it. That's one where I watched. I'm like, I'll never revisit Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
I kind of want
Personally,
It's good.
it's good. Speaking of turkey
else?
basters,
Oh yeah. Oh, the pubic hair. That's so nasty. And it was so unnecessary. It didn't need to be there. Anything else? It's just anything else about this movie, guys? TJ, Joe, Brian.
Ratings phase.
the only thing I'd like to add, and this is, I think it's still worth a watch for anyone listening. Like anyone listening, I think it's worth a watch. But I think if you're gonna watch it in the Halloween time frame mindset.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, when you're
like
really
in
vibing with
wintertime,
horror and you're like burning through a lot of horror. That's a good
I
idea.
think you'll appreciate it more. But especially revisiting it and having to talk about it, made me, I think, examine it a little more than I've actually ever examined it.
Oh well,
but,
that's what we do. We're very analytical here.
No, it's not a bad movie by any stretch, but it's truly how earlier in the podcast we said, do you ever just tell someone to watch a slow burn movie and they come back to you and say, hey, what happened? That's this movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Let's go into the ratings. Jeez. TJ, where are you landing?
I'll go 6.5 non-existent turkey basters out of 10.
Oh.
Just so it's fine. Wintertime. Put in your Halloween mix of like.
Yeah, I'll piggyback.
If you're gonna
on
do
that.
like a devil like cult night type of shit, and movies with the name devil in it, go throw it in.
Yeah, I'll
Why not?
piggyback on that. I'd give it about a 6 as well. Like just a solid, like I said, the direction is good. He's very capable, and it's got some interesting moments, and it does have a pretty decent ending. It just doesn't completely land. So I think 6 is perfect.
So he has an interesting career.
6 Zippo lighters that the guy.
Just to throw it more about Ty West in there, he has an interesting short career because he was a guy who was like making these movies and then like did Cabin Fever 2 and wanted to take his name off of it because they, it was so bad and like they like re-edited it all, blah blah blah. But then he kind of hasn't made a movie. And then he was really active on Twitter about UFC for a long time. Like he was just an MMA guy.
Like when I saw this name, I was like, it sounded so familiar. But then when I looked at his filmography, there was nothing that really jumped out at me as stuff that I was like that I'd watched a lot of. So it was weird.
He was an Eli Roth poll.
Oh,
basically.
that makes
Like,
sense.
you know, one of those
I can
like
see that. Well, that makes sense if he was hooked up with cabin fever.
yeah, he was, and recently all he's done is like the horror TV show director guy, you know, like an episode of The Exorcist when that was a TV show, or like either way, I think he's talented, and I hope he keeps making movies. But something happened with him in Hollywood because he also went silent on Twitter.
You
And,
might
like,
have fucked
Twitter-
up like the guy from
Yeah.
Boondock Saints.
Who knows?
I'll
But
give it a
tweet about
4. I'll give it a 4 bad picks out of 10. Beautiful filmmaking. I'll agree. Horrible script. Joe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a 7.6 Greta Gerwig heads getting blown off.
Greta Gerwig's face is removed.
Yeah. Because I do generally like this movie, but I think if you were to ask me like having to do this, I'd be like, oh, that's like a fucking like 8.3, and then like on a rewatch, it's about a 7.6. I think it stands in my.
And I think it's fine to be objective about a movie like
Yeah.
this. Like, you can know that it's a 7, but still like it as an 8. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, you
Like,
can
I
like
think-
it enough, but no, you know, I think that's fine. I think that's what people don't like. People get all mad about shit on dealing with these fucking Snyder boys on Twitter. Is like, you can understand that a movie has flaws and still like it. Don't you guys
Yeah.
get that? You don't have
I
to
think-
worship at the
I
altar of
like
a
a lot
movie.
of shitty movies.
I think
I
if
like
I were gonna
movies that are
recommend-
flat out bad.
Guys, I think if I were gonna recommend,
I don't.
like this. You know what? You know what I'm gonna say to this? I think if I were gonna recommend a movie like this to someone, I'd rather recommend Black Christmas or like The Changeling.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
All right, so it's my pick next week. I wrote down 3 movies in my hand.
You've got scraps of paper. Okay, sure.
Yeah. I went like this, and I put 1, 3. I don't know what they are. 1 and 3. So I'm gonna
Well,
Google
you know what they are 'cause you
movie
wrote 'em down.
trivia questions, and I'm just gonna randomly pick a question, and
Google
whoever
thinks
answers,
is trivia. Okay.
yeah, and whoever answers gets to
Like
pick from. one.
Newsweek wrote a whole article about the Twin Pines Lone Pines thing. I wanted to pull my fucking hair out. I was like, "Are you serious?" We're like, somebody was like, "An internet sleuth really picked up on I was like, "Fucking kill me."
Well, hey, Brian, Collider did steal your thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about that, I like Tom Ryman. Like, I follow that dude, and I
know
listen
who
to his
that dude is.
podcasts and stuff, but, like, it was just so funny. And then when he put up his thing about how he had, like, I emailed my editor about the idea, there was only, like, a 2-hour difference. I was like, you could fuck around with that. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't see
I was like,
any
what's the
of
time
that.
zones there? I don't know. Where are you
Yeah.
at compared to where
Wait,
I'm
Brian,
at?
he addressed it?
Oh yeah, he like enough people tweeted about it. It's funny because I posted, I didn't tag him
He
or anything,
answered me.
but like 5
I
or
didn't
6
see any
people
of
at
this.
least tweeted about it and like added him and stuff. And
Can
eventually
I
got mad.
say?
He
Can I say a thing?
responded
I'm gonna
to TJ
say.
and at
I'm
least
gonna
one
say.
other person.
I don't
I
know.
think
I don't know. I don't know who that person is at all. I've never heard of him before, but he has like 18,000 followers, and your tweets had more traction than his original tweet because he has like a 10 to 20 like ratio, even though he has 18 fucking thousand followers.
Well,
So I
what I know about I
Fishy.
mean, and this is dumb internet shit. It doesn't matter, but I know he was he came from Cracked, and then he went on, and now he's
Oh,
writing
that
for
makes sense why
Collider.
you follow
So he
him.
probably had a bigger following when he was at Cracked. Is what I would imagine.
All right,
What?
so
I didn't know that.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. I don't know what they are. I scrambled them before writing their numbers. Whoever wins gets to pick one, 2, or 3. It's one question, one shot, one kill, and this is a random trivia. And I'm just gonna scroll like this randomly, and wherever my finger falls, that's the question that I'm gonna ask. And okay, maybe this is a hard one. What is the highest grossing war movie of all time and Clint Eastwood's highest grossing movie ever?
Joe,
Joe.
American Sniper.
That is correct, guys.
Oh, nice.
The
Well, Clint
fuck?
Eastwood. That's what I couldn't understand your accent.
No,
I didn't know
I-
what you said.
I
until
actually
Joe
knew
said
that.
American Sniper.
Eastwood.
Clint
I actually-
Eastwood. I did not
I-
hear Clint Eastwood.
not to
Sorry.
be
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Not to
I
be a
downed
nerd,
I downed a
actually-
bottle while we were talking.
That's a good
This
bottle.
gets worse
I
as
put
I'm
like
on.
4 beers too, so I
Is
get
that
it.
Dark Horse?
right.
I
One,
actually,
2, or 3.
I actually knew that before you said Clint Eastwood because I just know that. I don't know why. Anyway,
1, 2,
I'll
or
pick
3,
two.
Joe.
Fine, Joe.
Two.
What? 2?
Two.
We are watching The Rocketeer.
Ooh, okay.
Directed by the same guy who did First Avenger.
Should have saved our Disney topic for that.
I've never seen the
Guys,
Rocketeer.
if you don't have my Disney Plus login, shoot me a DM. I'll let you know.
Use yours. Use my Amazon. It's a fair
All
trade.
right, we're watching The Rocketeer. I've never seen that
I've
fucking
never
movie.
seen-
I just wanted to
I've never
watch
seen
it.
it either.
All right. Where can the people find you? Joe.
You can find me at Shendingo1, just, being a bully.
He's a bully.
The internet needs bullying, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
He's
Yeah.
a bully. Brian.
You can find me backing Joe up, also bullying people. Usually, to be fair, I wait around. If they I don't jump in and like dogpile every conversation Joe's in. But if he could use me to if I have something that he needs, if I can bring a little heat that he's I like to get in on that.
I think I pick appropriate battles.
If Joe is already just kicking somebody's dick in the dirt, I don't jump in and be like, hey, yeah.
Sometimes I do need
I'm
a
the nice
fire.
boy. I'm the nice boy of the Fly Boys. I've
At
only
her
been in
feelings.
one scuffle, and it was with the man that was crying for fucking Wonder Woman. TJ, where are you going?
You guys are on
TJ
FlyOver
Jumps.
State of Film YouTube right now. Check out the latest episodes that me and Yusuf are editing. And I'm on Twitter being just as nice as Yusuf at TJ Dex.
TJ jumps in sometimes with.
I
I.
Bye.